Hey guys, it's Jess and I am here today with my November wrap-up. This month I read 5 books and listened to 1 audiobook. One of the books, the first one I read, was Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I did do a full review of this down below. I read this while I was traveling for work and I loved it. Definitely 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. If you are a big fan of memoirs, you will love this memoir and I highly suggest you pick it up. Full review down below, like I said. The next one was my audiobook. I finished that probably around the same time that I finished Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, and that was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. And I hate to say this, but I hated it. I thought it was awful. The character development was awful. The story arc was just super juvenile. I did not enjoy it at all. I am currently listening to Isla and the Happily Ever After, and I will say I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's 180 degrees different. The main character, unlike Anna, is not this flippant valley girl who I cannot enjoy. I will say it may be because of the narrator in Anna and the French Kiss that I hated it so much. Her voice was grating. I could not handle it. Every word ended in a high-pitched tone, just like that, and I hated it. I hated it when I started, and I hated it through the entire thing. I would not recommend it, but I would recommend Isla. So I will keep listening. I enjoy Isla so far. I won't finish it before the end of November. Definitely going to finish it in December, though. The next book I read was Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and oh my gosh, creepy. I think I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was really good. When you read a scene and it just gives you goosebumps and makes you want to stop reading because you're so uncomfortable, to me that's a sign of a good thriller or horror writer, and I highly recommend this. Anyone who enjoys thrillers, psychological thrillers, and horror, not that it's horror in the fact of like ghouls and beasts and monsters, but just like that psychological horror, that kind of thriller horror, if that makes sense. This book is small but full of it, very powerful. It's about our main character, Camille Preaker, who has to go back to her hometown to investigate some murders that have been going on, and she starts to think it's this person and that person. I will say, super shocked by who it was not expecting that. I was expecting it to be who Gillian Flynn really leads you to think it is by the end, and I was blindsided. I do recommend this. I wish I would have read this during October. I did finish it early this month, so it was close enough to October for me to feel like that, but it would have been a great spooky read. Then I got in on the hype and I read Winter by Marissa Meyer, and this book saved the entire series for me. I didn't hate the series, and I actually didn't particularly dislike the series, but I wasn't in love with it. After Winter, I am in love with it. And Winter, hands down, my favorite character. She is so weird. She's like that cousin everyone has who everyone knows something's a little weird about, but you can't figure it out. That's Winter. She's that endearing little bizarre cousin, and she is such a great character. I love the fact that she's imperfect in so many ways. One thing super disappointed about, in my opinion, I think someone should have died. Someone, and you'll know who, definitely should have died. I will do a full book talk on this probably later this week, I think, about who specifically I think should have died and some of the different twists I think should have occurred but didn't. But overall, I really enjoyed this. This is a hunker of a book, and you can't really tell because the pages are so thin. When I first hauled the book, I even said that. If anyone is familiar with the term Bible pages, they're very, very thin pages, and like if you were to highlight through them, it would sink through to the next page or the back of the page. These pages were like that, and I don't know why Marissa Meyer chose to do that. Not really sure. Then I read Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. I gave this, I want to say 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Definitely not funny. Do not pick this book up if you want a funny read. It is not funny. The first chapter is amusing. There's a few anecdotes that are pretty funny, but as a whole, it's a more serious read. I do think a lot of the book was superficial. I felt a lot of it, like all her tangents about how to look pretty and how to dress nice and this, that, and the other thing about physical appearance. I just felt it was very superficial and not really an insight into her life. Although, I will say the final chapter, Why Not Me, was amazing. The big thing she talks about at the end is entitlement. How entitlement gets a bad rap, where really entitlement is just confidence in what you do. I will say there are different kinds of entitlement, but the one she's talking about, I really agree with. And she says, work hard, know your shit, show your shit, and then feel entitled. Listen to no one except the two smartest and kindest adults you know. And that doesn't always mean your parents. If you do that, you will be fine. And that's the last line of the book. And that entire chapter is just great. I will go back to that chapter again and again because it was so great. And I always talk about what saved the book for me. And for me, that final chapter of Why Not Me, which is titled Why Not Me, really saved the book for me because I wasn't too into it until then. And then the last book I read this month was Silverborn by Patricia Briggs. This is the 5th in the Mercy Thompson series. I am borrowing this from my sister. This book was definitely different. It was different than the normal Mercy Thompson reads in that it focused way more on the character building and the relationship and way less on an actual conflict. Don't get me wrong, there was a conflict, there was some Mercy drama that always happens, but it wasn't the Mercy drama we're used to, and I actually enjoyed it. I did not, however, enjoy the fact that it was so focused on the head over heels love and the trope of the knight in shining armor. The reason I enjoy Mercy Thompson so much is that she is a strong female character, and I feel like they really undermine that in this book, in the fact that she has to rely on pretty much every guy in her life to help her figure something out. And then the ties between her and Adam and how that's explained, and the fact that Samuel is all about, I don't remember her name, the other Faye that's in here. It was a little too focused on the mushy love and less about the action story that I come to love from Mercy Thompson. But it wasn't bad. We learned a lot about the characters and I appreciated that. And I will definitely continue to read. So there we go. When I hold it up, it looks like a really sad. I only read 4 physical books, 1 ebook, and I listened to an audiobook. NaNoWriMo was going on this month, and unfortunately I will not win NaNoWriMo because there's no way I can write 15,000 words in a day. I'm not that talented. But I did enjoy the reads I got to, and I did enjoy writing while I had time. Let me know down below if you want me to do a full NaNoWriMo wrap-up. If you don't, then I won't. No worries. And that's all I have today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!